that you want to give your Sunday offering. You are saying, Sunday, I cannot go without giving him an offering. There's a church account that I'm putting on the screen right now, and I want you to put your offering in the church account. Put your offering, put your seed, put your tithe. Don't hesitate. Don't listen to the devil. Don't listen to what people say. Don't listen to what your mind says. Listen to what God says. Bring your tithe, give your offering, give your seed, and God will bless you.
On the 1st of February 2019, self-proclaimed prophet Sheperd Bushiri, along with his wife Mary Bushiri, were arrested by the Hawks for fraud and money laundering schemes in Rustenburg, in the province of Northwest.
But we can only confirm that we have arrested a prophet and his wife. They were arrested today, early this morning, in Rustenburg. They were brought here and processed here at our national head office. As we speak now, they're in custody, and we are just waiting for their appearance on Monday.
This came after witnesses, who claimed to be the leaders of his church, alerted the Hawks that Bushiri was sending an estimated 15 million rands cash every month to his home country of Malawi. The money was allegedly transported out of South Africa in Bushiri's private jet, which the Hawks claim was bought with money coming from these fraud and money laundering activities. This was Bushiri's fourth private jet in total, which he bought in November 2015 for $1.2 million cash. According to the Hawks investigation, Bushiri alleged that the money he used to buy the jet, he got it as a loan from some company called Joint Aviation Resources, and that his church later repaid the company in South African rands, with money coming from church donations. The director of Joint Aviation Resources would later come out and make a statement saying that the company had no loan agreement with Bushiri, because according to the law, the company is not authorized nor permitted to deal in US dollars or any other foreign currency, especially in cash, and with that amount. The couple was later released on 100,000 rands bail each, after spending 8 days in jail.
I was told actually about the articles and allegations that you are being investigated over issues of money laundering, where you get 15 million every month. I was like, wow, that's a lot of money, you know. So it's quite funny, because I have never been officially told by the Hawks, neither police, that I'm being investigated. So in short, I'm not aware of those investigations.
Both Bushiri and his wife were set to appear for trial at the Northwest High Court on the 28th of August 2019. However, Bushiri's court case was postponed 3 times, until it was set to the 30th of October 2020. On the 20th of October 2020, 10 days before the couple appeared in court, the Hawks made their way to Bushiri's mansion in Santon, and arrested the prophet's wife, Mary, while the pastor was away. Bushiri would then hand himself over to the police soon after that. This time, the couple was accused of fraud and money laundering involving over 100 million rands. The Bushiris were also accused of being illegal citizens in South Africa, and that they had contravened the immigration regulations on several occasions since they arrived in the country. The Bushiris were released on bail, and their trial was set to the 14th of May 2021. However, before the trial could begin, Bushiri fled South Africa on his private jet, returning home to Malawi. The couple has been in Malawi ever since, despite South African officials trying to bring them back to the country.
I have come here looking for the constitutional help that protects the citizen. My life was in danger in South Africa, and I have opened cases against people in South Africa. The police officers who have been arresting me, a lot of death threats. I've survived death attempts, and also extortion. What's her name?
Jane Mukoteti.
Huh?
Jane Mukoteti.
Huh?
Jane Mukoteti.
I see someone like Itu.
Itumele. It's my elder son.
Your elder?
Elder child.
I see 5.
I've got 5 children.
You have 5 children?
Yes, Papa.
As I stand here,
Yes,
I see a project you're about to do.
Yes, Papa.
But this project you're doing with your son.
Yes, Papa.
Into.
Itumele, Papa.
But I'm seeing a delay.
Yes, Papa.
It's not moving at all.
For 2 years, Papa, is delayed.
The Lord said, okay, did you tell me?
No, Papa, I didn't tell you.
Never met it before?
No, Papa, we didn't.
The Lord, if I lay my hand upon her,
yes, Papa,
she'll receive a miracle. Take it. Take it. Jesus' name. It is done. Put the hands for Jesus Christ. Next.
Prophet Sheperd Bushiri is the founder and leader of the Enlightened Christian Gathering, ECG, with its headquarters in Malawi and branches all over the world. The main branch of ECG is in the city of Pretoria in South Africa, where Bushiri was often preaching at. According to Bushiri, ECG is a multiracial church with many middle-class and aspiring middle-class urban members. The members of ECG come from all over Africa, and even as international visitors from Europe, America and other parts of the world. The ECG Church has been growing to greater numbers over the past few years. In 2016, it was reported that it had over 10,000 members, attending Sunday services on a weekly basis, with many more watching these services on its television channel. In 2018, during one of the church's New Year's crossover event, it was reported that there were over 100,000 people who went to see the Prophet at the FNB Stadium. Prophet Bushiri, in his own words, promised to deliver fire anointing at the crossover, which he called it the night of God's open hands.
It is not heaven that is open. It is not doors that are open. The very hands of God are open. That sickness, now the hands of God are open. Healing is available. Deliverance for your family is available. Prosperity is available. If you want to get married, that husband is coming, that wife is coming. In your education, distinctions are coming because the hands of God are open.
He also declared that night to be a night that has never happened before, while encouraging his followers to buy tickets. According to the spokesperson of the church, Bushiri made over 5 million rands that night, at 50 rands a ticket. And these were only ordinary seats, excluding the VIPs. Bushiri, like most prosperity gospel preachers, promises his followers that they would get blessed if they continue to give to the church.
These are not platforms where you say, if I put the money, would I lose? No. These are platforms when you invest, you go home and sit down and relax and drink coffee and have millions entering in your account. The Lord said to me, I'll bring you people. You're going to come up with something that you're going to help your sons and your daughters to become rich.
In March 2017, during one of Bushiri's church service, it is alleged that he sent emails to members of his congregant, telling them that a new gold investment opportunity was opening up soon. The minimum investment that was needed from each member was 100,000 rands. Congregants were told they only had 2 days to invest the money, and after 30 days, they would get a 50% return. The members were then told to bring the money cash and not with cards. On the morning of the 29th and 30th of May, 2017, they were told to bring the money to Hall of the church. Those who weren't able to bring the cash were told to call a number so that they can be able to get the church's banking details. According to scammed investors who later pressed charges against the pastor, his church hall was packed to the brim with people on those 2 days, as congregants handed over wads of cash to the pastor. Those who invested 200,000 rands were promised 11.5 million after 6 months. Those who invested 1 million rands were promised 56.6 million rands in 6 months. Most investors are said to be retired people. The Sunday Times has also claimed to have seen a list of about 250 church congregants from Mpumalanga who say they had invested in schemes linked to the church. It details amounts that were allegedly deposited in the bank accounts belonging to several senior church leaders, as well as the church's own account, and another account for a church investment scheme called Seer Salvation.
One day he started asking me about my sex life and my HIV status. Then he made me a drink. He said it would help my heartburn, but it tasted sour and made me sleepy. I woke up naked in his bed. I started crying and asked him what had happened. He told me to pull myself together. A while later, I realized I was pregnant. When I went to tell him, he raped me again. He said if I told anyone, they would never believe me because he's an anointed man of God.
It was on the 21st of March 2021 when South African police officials announced that they were investigating 16 counts of rape charges against Sheperd Bushiri from 8 different victims. This came after 2 victims told ETV in an interview that they were raped by Bushiri on separate occasions at the Sheraton Hotel in Pretoria.
You are married, is like, don't worry about that. I'm like, no, I can't. That's when from there he touched me here. So that's when I manifested. I don't know, I was under the power that I don't even know. So from there, he take off the clothes, then he raped me. So after that, he gave me my clothes. It's like he throw my clothes, like take where my people are coming. Then he take the money, he throw the money to me.
How much was the amount? How much did he give you?
It was 5,000. He just take the money.
The Mail and Guardian would also release court records of Bushiri's extradition case, which showed that the rape allegations date back from 2016, and that they had been added to his ongoing charges of fraud, money laundering, jumping bail and contravention of the Foreign Currency Act that Bushiri was already facing before he fled to Malawi. Bushiri has rejected these allegations of rape, accusing Hawks officers of intimidating women to make the accusations. He also accuses the Hawks officers of extortion.
That there are people who want money from me, and they're saying if I don't give them money, I will be arrested, and I'll create so many cases against me. When these things were not being addressed, I thought of coming to Malawi in 2018 to involve human rights groups.
These cases allegedly took place around Pretoria, particularly at the Sheraton Hotel. They involved women who alleged that the rich prophet enticed them into hotels after befriending them and their families at church, with offers of special prayers and gifts of cash. The police indictment paints a picture of how the ECG Church was used as a recruitment service for Bushiri through his network of sons and prophets. It is said that they would eavesdrop, record and engage in subtle conversations with churchgoers to collect information later used by Bushiri to lure women into sexual relations. According to the records, Bushiri promised to marry one of the women he raped between May 2015 and June 2016. He allegedly paid her parents substantial sums of money. Another woman alleges that between June and July 2015, she was raped by Bushiri in his hotel room, after the prophet took pictures of her in her underwear and in naked poses. He allegedly handed her cash. Another victim alleges she was invited into Bushiri's hotel room and given a drink that made her dizzy. She fell to the floor. Bushiri then took her clothes off and raped her. Another victim was allegedly impregnated and given cash to register a construction company. The prophet would later address his congregation virtually and dismiss the allegations, saying that this is an attempt to tarnish his reputation and extort money from his family and his church. He said he has been living under threat since 2017, and that people told him how they would use the media and how they would use the Hawks to extort him. He further claimed that the syndicate of men and women later confessed to him that they were working with investigating officers to solicit money from the church. Bushiri claimed that he has the confessions on record.
One time I got all doctors in Pretoria to come, and they brought HIV people. They tested the people before prayer, and I prayed for them, and they tested again. I'm talking about doctors. And the people were negative. So I believe that God heals any sickness.